What up? It's your boy Rich. Good afternoon, everybody. Real Talk Rich is back, and we back here one more again. Glad to get see you guys here, man. I'm sorry about the delay. We've been kind of trying to figure some stuff out, and technical difficulties will technical difficulties. So, but we're here. Got a new dope show for you. Want to salute everybody. Salute to the Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever fam. I hope all of you guys had a great, great weekend. I know Paul and Herschel got a chance to do some stuff this weekend. And yeah, man, so shout out to those guys, you know what I'm saying? If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a hater, tell somebody. But your boy's live, and so we got a dope show tonight. We're going to get into some stuff, and I'm here to tell you, yeah, somebody might be mad at me by the end of the night, but I don't care. It is what it is. Want to salute the chat. What's going on, chat? I see Paul is in the building. I see Robert Monroe Jr. is in the building. Gordon is here in the building. Pericles always in the building. Style So Serious. What up, what up, what up? Paul says, well, I did anyway. Well, you know, good. Lucky for you, you don't have two little ones. Shout out to Herschel. But yeah, man. So anyway, we got a dope show tonight. We're gonna get into it. Don't want to delay the time, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get right into this. We're gonna do a segment of our show called Low Hanging Fruit. That's a segment of our show where we get to talk about the news and things of that nature going on. And the first article is a direct article. All right, direct.com. DC article. James Gunn confirmed 6th show in the DCU Reboot Chapter 1 slate. So DCU Studios CEO, co-CEO James Gunn has announced another Max series that will be considered part of Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. Okay? Let's just be, you know, let's keep it a stack or whatever. That particular 6th show is actually Peacemaker season number 2. So all you Peacemaker guys that were just loving that show, it is going to return. When it's going to return, it's going to be a couple years down the road. From what we understand. So if you're looking forward to see it this year, you're not going to see it. However, there are some other shows that are going to be a part of it. It's going to be, I think, supposedly 5 shows, 5 movies What up, Jay? Good to see you, sir. So anyway, what we got here though is after Superman Legacy, we're going to see some other stuff that's going to come out. So James Gunn is writing season 2 stuff already. So he's got a lot of stuff already in the can as far as his stuff that he's doing, the stuff that he's got lined up. Okay. But what we do have lined up, first out the gate, is a show called Creature Commandos. That's going to be an animated show. It's going to be 7 episodes. And it's also going to be written by James Gunn. It's going to be the first project to release in the new DCU ahead of Superman Legacy. And that's coming to Max in this year, 2024. Second out the gate is going to be Viola Davis will be returning with her own show called Waller, live action. So you guys got the chance to see the Queen Viola Davis do her thing as the gangster Amanda Waller. So she's going to have her own show. Also, there's going to be a show with the Green Lanterns called simply Lanterns. That's a show that's going to feature Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And it's going to be based on, basically, from what we see here, a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective. So it's probably going to be an anthology-type style show, if that makes any sense. So it's probably going to be ongoing, different stories. I'm here for that. James Gunn doing his doggone thing, y'all. Can't front on the dude. Next up after that is going to be Booster Gold. Will feature Mike Carter as the loser from the future who uses technology to go back in time or to come to present day and become a superhero. The studio's already said to be talking to an actor for the lead role in the midst to see some Star-Lord Chris Pratt take on another superhero under Gunn. So we'll see what happens with that. The last show, or show number 5, is going to be Paradise Lost, which is basically a take on the Wonder Woman mythos. This is a story, however, that is going to take place years before Wonder Woman or Diana Prince was born. This is going to be some kind of Game of Thrones type show featuring, looking at the dynamics of an island full of nothing but women, the politics and the scheming that goes on. So I'm looking forward to that show. I'm looking forward to the conversations that's going to be around that show, because that's going to be very interesting. So, and it's James Gunn. So I'm here for the popcorn. I'm here for the tea. I'm here for the drama and the chaos. So that's what's up with that. So yeah, James Gunn is doing work, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. DCU is in good hands, look like. Next article is a Screen Rant article. Got a number of Screen Rant articles. First article we're going to look at. How you doing, Sierra? Good to see you. The trial of Lando Calrissian. For all my Star Wars fans, I want you guys to take note, because in Star Wars issues 44 and 45, there is going to be a focus on Lando Calrissian. And matter of fact, the story is called The Trial of Lando Calrissian. It's a previously unseen event established in the canon that will be a pivotal moment in the history of the rebellion. So this is a part of canon. With his misdeeds against the rebellion in the aftermath of Empire Strikes Back finally being exposed, Lando will have to defend himself or face dire punishment for his betrayal in Marvel's predominant Star Wars series. However, this does raise questions about his future in The Return of the Jedi. As soon as the cyborg Lobot started suffering from destructive virus and was facing death, Lando did everything he could in his power to save his friend in Marvel Star Wars, including selling out the rebellion. Having forced to come clean in the recent Star Wars issue number 41 from Charles Cholet, Lando has since been in custody. And now details and results of Lando's trial will be revealed in the upcoming issues 44, and 45. In part because he's yet to become a true believer in the rebel cause, Lando justified trading secrets and sensitive information about the rebellion to Jabba the Hutt as a means to protect his own life and save Lobot, who was dying. To that end, Calrissian secretly gave the Hutt gangster ancient droid used by the rebellion, who generated unbreakable codes following the Battle of Hoth. However, the same droid was only the only one that could repair Lobot. So it's one of those things where I had to do what I had to do to save my friend. So as a result of that, Leia justifiably charged Lando with treason. And so he's facing a death sentence. Okay. So, funny thing about this is a story that's going to have Darth Vader in it as well, among others. And supposedly, Darth Vader is Lando's only hope in escaping this situation. So, y'all look forward to that. So, Star Wars 44 comes out March the 6th, and issue 45 comes out April 3rd. So, y'all look for those. Y'all should get those. They're probably going to have some dope covers for them. Because, like I say, this is focusing on Lando, the original Black Token. I should have said that. But you guys know what I mean. Lando's Lando. That's what's up. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. Our next article. I am T'Challa, and I'm so much more than my throne. Losing his crown made Black Panther a stronger hero. Poppycock. So anyway, after several issues of trying to discover his purpose since losing both Wakanda and his crown, the Black Panther finally understands who he is. T'Challa has finally settled into being a street hero and can be truly a Black Panther without his crown. Ever since getting exiled from Wakanda and have his throne taken from underneath him, T'Challa has struggled to define his identity. His persona was always strongly tied to royalty that without it, he's been at a crossroads as to what kind of Marvel hero he should be. Since the start of the series, T'Challa has been learning who he is without his crown while fighting crime in the city of burning T'Chaka. And while he's still donning the mantle of Black Panther, boy, the shade in this article is strong. He's done it without an official sanction, without the vast resources of a king. It has been a struggle, but T'Challa has made strides toward finally figuring himself out. While explaining what he's learned from his time in the city, T'Challa expresses confidence he's learned from losing his crown. Closing out one's self-discovery arc opens the door to so many new storylines for the Black Panther. Somebody hadn't read the room, but anyway, following the skirmish with the mutant Monet St. Croix, T'Challa and his Catwoman as femme fatale Natima, a.k.a. Bisa, take a train back to burning T'Chaka to pass the time. And the former king gives a monologue about what he's learned since taking residence in the city and how the experience has humbled him. Despite losing the resources, security, and the glory that come with being king, he feels stronger than ever. Everything he used to define is no longer relevant, and he knows what he can be without it. As he says, I am T'Challa, and I am so much more than my throne. So, let's talk about this, brothers and sisters. First of all, in entertainment in general, there is always a level of technology that is employed. Only the initiated know when I use that terminology, technology. This article is filled with it. A lot of technology. And unfortunately, some of the writing in Black Panther issue number 8 reflects that as well. So, here we go. T'Challa says that I am T'Challa, and I'm so much more than my throne. It sounds profound. It actually sounds deep, but it isn't. It's not deep at all. Let me clear something up for some people. Now, one thing about us is we love inspiration. Black folks love to be inspired, and they love aspiration in general. And somebody says something like that, I am much more than my throne. Okay. Well, what are you, T'Challa, at this point? Now, in my understanding of who T'Challa is the king of Wakanda. I don't care who's writing the story. I don't care if it's Eve Ewing. I don't care if it's John Ridley. I don't care if it's Christopher Priest. I don't care if it's Evan Narcisse. I don't care if it's Don McGregor. T'Challa is the king of Wakanda. Point blank, period. So to come to a place where he feels like he is so much more than the throne is doing a disservice to who he is as a character and as a person. Let me give you guys a little understanding about how things work in regards to hierarchy. See, that in this world, ladies and gentlemen, whether you love it or not, whether you loathe it or not, whether you hate it or not, there is something called hierarchy. We all fall under some kind of hierarchy. Some people use the word pecking order. Love it, hate it, dislove it, whatever. Feel about it the way you feel about it. Hierarchy is a part of this world. If you do not have hierarchy, you have anarchy, which is why this run has been written and the last run's been written the way it's been written, because it's really anarchy. It's out of order. Here's the deal. In life, there is titles. There's God, and then there's kings. There's nothing above being king other than godhood. T'Challa is not a god. He's a king. Now, I understand the sentiment and what he was getting at, but who he is as a person and who we recognize him to be is the king of Wakanda. Point blank, period. Word got out, of course, that this run that Dr. Eve Ewing is writing is ending after 10 issues. I know a lot of people are upset about it. I know a lot of people are like, that sucks. Some people think it was because the writing hadn't been really that good. Some people think it's because people haven't been buying the book. I'm going to be honest, I'm not even one of those people that think that. What I do think is that Dr. Ewing was giving a story arc or a story to write. She wrote the story's ending. That's it. That's just my opinion. I don't think it was because the run hasn't been good. The run, in my opinion, has been very good. Has it been great? No. Is it good? Absolutely. But this thing about T'Challa finally coming to grips that, he's not the king and he's so much more than being the king or whatever. Yeah, I'll say that. Say that. I ain't buying that. No, I'm not buying it. T'Challa is supposed to be the king. And some of the Black Panther fans have been dissatisfied with the reality that he is not recognized in the Marvel Comics right now as the king of Wakanda. That's who he is, at the core of who he is. I don't want to hear nothing about Mantle talk. I don't want to hear nothing about this other stuff, all these semantics, these casuals, whatever. I don't care. He's the king of Wakanda. He's supposed to be the king of Wakanda. Everything leading up to this point is supposed to get him back to the throne. But that's not what Marvel wants to do. For whatever reason, this is what this is. We are where we are, and they wrote that in the story. And this is no shade at Dr. Ewing, but what I am saying is that there's, like I said earlier, there's gods and there's kings. So anything below that is a demotion. So to me, it's like I'm embracing this trash that has happened to me. I'm embracing the reality that I am not the king of Wakanda, and I'm so much more. Y'all want the man to be Batman? That what we doing? No, not doing that. Not doing that. Now, some people also believe that they're making room for the Ultimate Universe Black Panther that will be written by Brian Edward Hill. I mean, I'm expecting Brian Edward Hill to do a good job. But as far as this goes, I'm not just buying that. Sorry, Screen Rant. You can't sell me that. there were several things in this article that was really, to me, very, very disingenuous in regards to who T'Challa is. It was definitely written like by a journalist who is not a Black Panther fan, and clearly does not know what's going on, because he was like, well, this gives him the opportunity to write so many different story arcs. I'm like, well, he didn't get the news when he wrote this, that this book or this run that Dr. Eve Ewing is writing is going to end at 10 issues. He clearly did not know that when he wrote this. But suffice to say, some people thought that was something deep or profound, and I thought it was trash. But that's just me. Paul says this cancellation absolutely has nothing to do with the Ultimate Universe. The Ultimate Universe is an alternative timeline. Yeah. Yeah. Go back to Eldal's comment. He says, T'Challa, being the kind of king he was prior to losing his throne, was a great king. I thought he always cared heavily for his nation and his people. I still think he does. They just need to give him back the throne officially. That's what they need to do, in my humble opinion. So, yeah. It's jacked up, bro. I mean, and I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan, but they Marvel. Marvel got to do better. But y'all, get ready for this. Get ready for the end of this run. I think that this run overall has been decent. It's been good. It hasn't been great, but it's been good. I still maintain that issue 6 is the best issue. It's definitely my favorite issue of the whole run so far, and we'll see, because she's got issue 9 and 10 to do. So they're gonna wrap this thing up, and we'll move on to the next run. We don't even know who the next writer is going to be. I don't even want to talk about speculating. Paul and Mark covered that on Friday night, so I'm not going to do that here. Suffice to say that, whoever gets the book, they need to, I don't care if it's John Ridley again, they need to make T'Challa the king again. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. Eldar asked me, did I like Coach run? Oh, you must be talking to I don't know. Are you talking to me, Eldar, or are you talking to the chat? The first Colts run, I love the first Colts run, The Nation Under Our Feet. I love that run. I did not like the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. I did not like that run. I didn't like T'Challa being a slave in space, and it was just weird. I just didn't like it. I do think that it is a good run. I just didn't like it. I tell people like that, I can like a movie and I can like something and dislike it at the same time, or I can give it credence without liking it, if that makes any sense. So that's how I stand with Coach's run. And Mark, it's so funny. Mark talked about that the other night, because Mark is the opinion that all of this started with Ta-Nehisi Coates. And if you think about it, it kind of did. You know what I'm saying? Mark had a point. So shout out to my guys, man, with Condo Whiskey and Blurredom. They get deep with the T'Challa stuff, with the Black Panther stuff. Next run. What makes you think there'll be another run? It's going to be another run, Paul. It's going to be another run. I have to have a glass half full perspective. 1 in 100 podcast says time to reboot Black Panther. I agree. Definitely reboot, retcon, all that. It needs all of that. Frustrated says this is what happened when fanboys are listened to way too much. Yeah. Hey, man, it is what it is. But if y'all think that was trash, let's go to our next article. Yo. So, another Screen Rant article. The American Society of Magical Negroes star defends screenplay amid passionate audience response. The American Society of Magical Negroes has been seen as a controversial movie since its trailer was released, but star David Alan Grier is wholeheartedly defending the project. It is certainly an ambitious concept, especially considering that it serves as a writer-director Kobe Levi's feature film directorial debut. The movie imagines a Hogwarts-esque in this institution where Black people with magic powers are trained to use their gifts to defend tension with white people thus to safeguard their communities. For those who are unfamiliar with the terminology magical Negro refers to a cinematic trope which the black supporting character is reduced to the white protagonist they aid on screen. Sidekick. While first popularized by the iconic filmmaker Spike Lee in the early 2000s, the term is now widespread usage in discussions of both film and literature. And naturally, the use of this phrase in the title led many viewers to expect that the American Society of Magical Negroes would directly engage with the harmful trope through satire. And I'm going to just say this and I'm going to move on. Hollywood, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. I know there have been white people that come out to say this is a racist film. And I will stop short of calling it racist, but it's definitely insulting. Definitely insulting. This is what they're passing off as this is what they're passing off as entertainment these days. So if you guys want to go check this out at the theater, have at it. I will not be one of those. I am not buying a ticket to this trash. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. And the fact that they got people to kind of like to sign on to this project, I respect David Allen Greer. I think he is a dope actor in certain things, but he can't get me to buy. I'm not buying a ticket to this. They said, "What's going on?" This actually caught wind. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's been in the news for the last couple of weeks. I've just decided to go ahead and speak my piece on it because one, I didn't really want to react to it because when I first heard about it, I was like, yeah, okay, because I saw it in the theater. I saw the first time I saw it or heard about it was in the theater. I was going to see. It may have been Godzilla. And I think it was Godzilla. And so I'm watching it. I'm like, did I just see what I thought I saw? Then I saw some other cats online reacting to it. Shout out to Behind the Scene. They did a little small clip about it or whatever. But I was like, no, I'm good. But yeah, imagine a magical. One thing, what's insulting for me as a nerd and as a movie buff is the fact that we enjoy fantasy and we enjoy good storytelling. But this is when real life gets into some of this stuff, it makes a mess of it. And this is what this is. This is hot trash. And I want to see a Hogwarts type movie with magical people, magical black people. Shout out to Excellence, Brandon Thompson, those guys. But I don't. Can we do better? I'm just asking questions. Frustrated said, this is no different than the Book of Clarence. Every time black people are in biblical movies, it's always a comedy, even though blacks are the most religious group. Zurbi says it's supposed to be a deconstruction of the trope, I assume. Maybe so. But we're in a world though where we're trying to like really enjoy and be entertained, and stuff like this just does not. I mean, that it does not have. You can do something like this, but to really put, I'm having issue just with the title of the doggone movie. Some stuff we just, some stuff we just don't really need to be putting out there like that. That's all I'm gonna say. And again, and we have these guys that are in our community that like to play in these troughs, and they walk a thin line. They walk a very thin line when they do that. And I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna fall flat on its face. Jamaican says all criticisms are based on the trailer. I would probably want to reserve judgment until I actually saw the film, but admittedly, the trailer as cut does not leave me any desire to see the film. Some movies are not to be made in mixed company. That part, Paul. That part. And again, I understand you want to like make up, you want to poke fun, or you want to poke, at some, you want to be basically this is a trolls movie. I get it, but you're not going to get anything profound about it. And life is stressful enough. And can you imagine the commentary that some white people are going to have after seeing this? Will we even allow them to even give any commentary, or we will shut them down completely? Because they're going to have thoughts. Well, I went to go see the American Society of Magical Negroes. This is what I thought about it. That's one of those, they probably went into this thinking it was going to go one way and it's going to probably come out another. So, I was interested in seeing the movie until I saw the protagonist was risking his life for a white girl. Yeah, well, there is that too, Robert. Oh, they don't. They go deep. They go deep. They go real deep. Azurbi, he says, the comedy of this kind always walks a thin line. Key and Peele also did a sketch of the trope. No backlash there. You can see, a skit is one thing. A full-length film is another. Because it's kind of like you can kind of watch a skit 2-3 minutes, whatever, get a little chuckle, get it kind of out your system or whatever. You can kind of move on. But you're asking people to spend their hard-earned money for an hour and a half, maybe, and entertain some stuff that may leave them feeling, leaving them with a bad taste in their mouth. So I don't know. Seco says, there are magic books with black folks out there, but nobody's trying to make them into movies. Yeah. I'm the star. What up, Brooklyn? Sound worse than the musical Color Purple. Yeah, that too. I didn't go see that. I didn't go see that film either. I'll say it like that. So shout out to all of you guys who's going to go out there and go see this film. And I'm not a fan of bootlegging anything, but you might want to consider. I'm just saying, don't spend your money on this here. Don't wait till it get to streaming. Maybe to go straight to Tubi. I don't know. Don't pay your money to go see this. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Seco said, Black Mage and Marvelous Effect are examples. I wish they would have done something. They could do something around excellence, because excellence actually kind of deals a little bit with this kind of stuff, but it deals with it from a perspective that there's a real protagonist and there's a real antagonist. This is like, we're allies. We're making the white people comfortable so they don't go off and kill a bunch of people. That's what this is. That's the whole premise of the movie. There's a society of magical Negroes that's job is to make white people feel comfortable in their oppression, in their existence, just so they can safeguard the community. They actually think this helps. I was telling somebody, matter of fact, I made a comment on a video about it. I've seen this already. It's called the boule. Y'all Google that word, boule, Sigma Pi Phi. You'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's move on. That's enough of that. Next article is a comicbook.com article. Marvel Legends celebrates Black History Month with Patriots Return, Black Panther's future, and more. Here you go, Paul. So some of Marvel's most decorated superheroes get the spotlight in Marvel's led voices, Legends. This special one-shot is a celebration of Black History Month with all-star list of creators and rising talents coming together to help expand stories of the publisher's Black superheroes. From iconic figures like, Patriot, to younger heroes like Patriot, Marvel Voices Legend has something for every Marvel reader, young and old. Marvel Voices #1 arrives in stores right before Black History Month kicks off. And here's a couple of the screens of what's going to be available. David F. Walker has a story. Carlos Lopez There's the whole list right there on the screen, guys, that you can see. Some of the creators are also making their debuts. TV writer Ezra Clayton Daniels, who was on Doom Patrol, and award-winning writer-poet Cherie Renee Thomas is going to be doing something as well. So we have the young patriot making his return to fight the villainous mercenary Crossbones and the Daughters of Dragon on a stakeout with Michael Collins' Deathlock, rumbling with Magnum Force, and a potential happy ending. He said, I don't see Ghostlight. Well, I want to hit your boy up. That's all I'm gonna say, because you saw the credit, you saw the credit screen. Derek, bring that back up. Derek, bring the credits back up. I'll take a look at that. Take a look at it. That you know, because we were told that he was going to be in the book. They don't definitely mention him in this article. I'll say that. So I thought that they should have highlighted that, but they didn't. So unless the credit page has 2 pages, I don't know. John Jennings is not mentioned in this article at all. Marvel just used Ghost like that they used Night Thrasher. There it is. There it is. But the word is that you know, there's a Storm and Black Panther story. So, and there's an interview with Dennis Cowan by Angelique Roche in there as well. So y'all look for that. Y'all look for that. So yeah, man. That's what's going on with Marvel Voices. It'll be in the stores on January 31st. Yeah. Comes out this week. Yep, I'm pretty sure there'll be some dope covers. Y'all go get the best one y'all find. Probably won't have no variants, no 1 or 25s or anything like that. But, you know, without getting into it or whatever, you know, it'd be good to see the return of Patriot. Mark Robinson, what up? He says, I know this is off topic, Rich. I got to tell you, Waller versus Wildstorm is probably the most intense, intriguing story I've seen in a long time. That was a really good story. Well, you know, yeah, we talked about that when it was out, when it was running. We enjoyed it for sure. I'm glad you enjoyed the books, man. You know, yeah. I listen. I didn't want to let that go. I'll be honest with you. When I sent the books out, I was like, man, because I don't have a copy of any of those. But you got those books that you got was right out the collection. But it's a dope story, and I feel like somebody would enjoy it. So I'm glad that you enjoyed that story for real. He says, Robert Peterson said, this is all just throwing crumbs at black readers. Yeah. Stossel says, we do this every week, y'all know where Ghostlight is. Hey, bro, we gotta leave out hope. We gotta hope for the best. I'll say it like that. Seco says one of the covers does have Ghostlight in it, or on it rather. Frustrated fan sports shows that we have seen a lot of Deathlock this year. I wonder if he shows up in his own title. I don't know. Speaking of Deathlock, man, I picked up a Scotty Young variant recently. When Deathlock had a series running a few years ago, this is Deathlock #1. Sorry for the glare. Yeah. But that's a Scotty Young variant of Deathlock. Yeah. That's what's up with that. So we'll see. So with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. Derek, I want you to take us commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Eric July in the Rippaverse, and then we'll get into chat talk. So take a break, get you a refill, check on the game, whatever. Man, I think Detroit blew it. But anyway, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Here's our black real estate in comics. What do I mean? Let's check out Black Panther. He is gone from the MCU for reasons. And what is happening in the comics? We can complain all day about how our champion is being treated, but we don't own that character. Look at Milestone character, curated by one of the greats, Dwayne McDuffie, my guy, but we don't really own or control any of his characters. DC does. So I'll ask again, where is our black real estate in comics? Meet Delta Dogs from Millennial Comics, created and controlled by us, where story sits in the forefront. Delta Dogs is more than just black characters being black for the sake of being black. This story is about 7 cousins that gets into an encounter with a mysterious glowing stranger that changes their lives forever. And with their unique abilities, this family may be the one thing that can save their hood that's being ruled over by a vicious super gang. With an ex-criminal as their leader and other superheroes that looks the other way when it comes to their environment, this will be an impossible mission to pull off. Grab these books in our hardcover Ultimate Edition bundle at millennialcomic.com so we can really have some skin in the game when it comes to the comic book industry. Keep doing y'all thing, Black Comic Lords. Peace.
Hello. Tim Fielder here, author of Maddie's Rocket, Infinitum and Afrofuturist Tale, and the graphic history of hip hop. I'm a visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist. Buy my books. Go to Diesel Funk, at Diesel Funk on all social media handles. I need you to buy my books. Thank you, Black Comic Lords. Peace.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Danny J. Quick here with Ace Blade Comics. We got 6 issues of Ace Blade, 1 through 6. The 7th one is now live on Kickstarter. We could definitely use your support. We also have titles like Scarlet Ranger 1 and 2, created by Ro Lamb. We got Harlem's Renaissance and the Ballad of the Black Rose. And we got Lumberjacks 1, 2, and 3, which is about an Ethiopian prince who is displaced. And he has this necklace that gives him superpowers that he inherited from his grandfather. But he has to go through several trials to unlock the powers and abilities. So definitely check us out. You can find us at Fourth Wall Productions, fourthwallpros.com. And like I said, on Kickstarter right now. So I appreciate y'all, Black Comic Boys. Thank you for the support. And thanks for doing the right thing for the community.
We back. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Support all of those black independent creators. So let's get into a bit of news. Not news, but it's been actually, Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever is a niche within a niche within a niche. And because we are in a niche within a niche within a niche, and we love black comics and we love black independent comics and creators and that kind of thing, we're in a bubble a lot of times. We don't always know what's going outside of our bubble. But there's been some stuff going on, y'all, with a black creator, a black independent creator. And I'm gonna be honest. Now, some of you guys probably know about this, but I had no clue. I had no clue what's going on. So shout out to Sean James. Sean James is another independent black creator. He's written a lot of comic books. He has a YouTube channel. And he did a video talking about Eric July And there it says, Eric July gets a bootlicks reward from White Comics YouTube and comic social media. Now, a lot of people don't rock with Eric July because of who he has around him sometimes. And when it's all good, it's all good. But when it goes south, man, it will go south. And apparently it had gone south. So you crazy for this one, Richie. Listen. I'm just reporting the news. That's all I'm doing. So this is what happened. So apparently, a few months ago, Ethan Van Sciver and Eric July got into it. And at one time that they were friends. They were buddies, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? He was an ally. A lot of people associated Eric July with Comicsgate. Right? And then, of course, when Isom blew up, and then Isom 2 blew up or whatever, right? I'll say disclaimer. Why? I haven't said anything. I have not said anything bad, dude. I'm just reporting what's going on in these internet streets. So anyway, so they got into it. And some of the thoughts about it was because some people were being critical of Eric's book, particularly Isom and Alpha Core. A lot of people have given Alpha Core good ratings, and a lot of people have given Alpha Core some bad ratings. I have not read Alpha Core. I've only read Isom #1. I have not read Isom #2. I can't comment or give any commentary as to whether the book is good or not. I can't speak to that. Frustrated said, I saw this coming because he had competing comic that was getting traction. Paul said, I know you, man. So, stop. Anyway, so look, when I saw the video that Sean James did, I was like, man, what is this here? So he kind of breaks it down as to what happened a little bit. And so he's getting a lot of pushback from some of the people that supported him. Remember when this dude first started his first book, it rocketed. He had $1 million campaign, $3 million campaign. I mean, he was bringing the dough in. And a lot of us were talking about him like, well, that's because of who he got rocking with him or whatever, that kind of thing. So this is one of those things where some of the people that was rocking with him are no longer rocking with him now. They're being very critical. They've done, man, some of the stuff, you can go to YouTube and look some of this stuff up. Some people are being very disrespectful. I just wanted to bring it to you guys' attention because, again, it's one of those things where you might think it's all peaches and cream, and it is until it ain't. And right now, he's still selling books. He's got a lot of hate, but it ain't coming from us. It's coming from some of the very people that supported him initially. And that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, and I'll be honest, I think he was a little hurt by it, you know what I'm saying? Because it didn't get nasty, but it got definitely, I mean, it was, I could feel like he felt some type of way about it. Because they were posting up screenshots of direct messages. That's how deep it got. He considered Ethan Van Sciver a friend. There's videos of Ethan Van Sciver criticizing the books. And some people saying, well, Eric, don't be mad if somebody doesn't like your book or they're being critical of your book. Because they were saying that was the other thing too, that he couldn't take any criticism. Here's the thing. We all know if you go to that level or whatever, you're gonna have some hate. You're gonna have some drama, you're gonna have some people turn on you. You're gonna have some people that are jealous. It is what it is. And Paul Mark Robinson says Eric July got his comic harshly criticized. July criticized Marvel and DC left and right. I don't know how genuine the criticism of his comic was, but he's not above criticism, is he? No, he's not. He put it out there in the public square, and then he gets that. That's the risk of that's the cost of doing business. You put a comic book, a product out there, people they don't like it if they're gonna give their honest opinion about it. No, he's not above criticism at all. Matter of fact, he should really welcome it, because if he wants to be better, he's got to listen to, those who if he can discern those who really want to see him do good versus those that just don't really like him at all. Now, Paul says he's no longer useful and now he's uppity. Yeah. Pericles says Eric July was under the illusion of inclusion. Yep. Shout out, what up, James? And James says that's human nature. You have very few friends in life. Keep your head on a swivel. Yeah. I mean, that's and that's cold, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't even want to say that we told you so, because we really didn't, but it was kind of like, this is too good, almost too good to be true. And here's the thing, this stuff is like, all this stuff kind of surfaced last year. They've done a quote unquote good job of kind of keeping it down, so to speak. But that bubble, that Comics Gate bubble, and them folk over there, it's a whole lot of videos talking about that stuff. But like I said, I was in a bubble. I had no clue that was going on with old boy. And, it is what it is. Seacole says to Mark Robinson, a lot of those guys act like you can't criticize their work. Guess what? As an artist and creator, you open yourself up to that. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's one of those things, too, where it can get personal. To James's point, it can get personal. And even though they may have shared the same sentiments about certain, Marvel and DC in particular, and many of the criticism that Eric July had toward Marvel and DC, let's just be honest, a lot of us share those same criticisms of Marvel and DC. But it was one of those things where, I'm saying, hey, he decided he's going to do it himself or whatever. And he didn't make himself the face of changing comics or whatever, but he definitely talked very, very strong about, trying to change the industry. He did definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? But now it's kind of like, okay, you're taking a little heat, you know what I'm saying? But when you get that much bread, you're going to get some criticism come your way. It is what it is. Frustrated says, maybe we should have an interview with Eric July. I'm staying away from that. I just, and again, I would be personally, I would be open to it, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot that goes with that. And again, it's one of those things where some of the people that he was around, he thought that they really rocked with him, and they did. He kind of like Sean James kind of alluded to in the video. He got his Negro wake-up call. And, that's hard for anybody. Frustrated with the super chat. I was just kidding. I was only kidding. Yeah, appreciate the super chat. Paul says, no. 1-100 podcast. It sounds like he's been woken up. Yeah, that'll happen. You know what I'm saying? He had to keep his head on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? I think though that with Ethan Van Sciver, I think that he really, because I've seen videos with them two of them in the video together talking about other. Here's the sad part. I've seen videos with him and with both of them, Ethan Van Sciver and Eric July, talking about other creators, offering criticism. Some of it, I would say, constructive criticism. So they were really, quote unquote, rocking with one another at some point, but something happened where it went south. And, again, that's kind of the cost of doing business in these days. Pun intended. Yeah, for sure, Amir. So with that said, guys, you know what I'm saying? You guys can go to YouTube and do your thing, Google it, search it or whatever, if you want to do the deep dive on what happened with that. Yeah. Mark Robinson says, I read Ison #1. It was all right. A lot of people reviewed Ison 1 and it got positive reviews from what I saw. Yeah. I did a review of Ison as well. And, you know, I thought it was a decent book from a new writer endeavor, new company, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Sign me up for it. You know, what am I going to say? Put a book out and I sell over, you know, $1 million in sales. Who's not going to want that? You know what I'm saying? So again, it's one of those things where I hope that he comes out of it, you know what I'm saying, okay. Because, you know, that's the other thing too. When you have experiences like that, it can make you jaded a little bit. So, you know, but you know what they say, you lay down with dogs, you will wake up with fleas. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and say, Darth says, this vicious in these creators, hope he keeps it pushing. Yeah, me too, man. That's what I say. Style So Serious says, follow the money. Yeah. That's all you really got to do. You know, and that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we were rocking with you at one point, but when you disagree or you got issues, you got to be careful. That's all I can say is you got to be careful. So, like, we're going to take Paul's advice and we just going to move on. We're going to move on to Chat Talk. This is a segment where we talk to you guys and we talk about whatever's on your mind. And I will go far as Seaco says, Sean James, as if he could talk. They did in the same way, too. He wouldn't support his book over a DC movie. Hey, bro, like I said, I just report the news. Support the news. But I do like Sean James. Now, to be fair, Sean James has no love for Eric July. Because he roasted Ison in another video. So, but he put that video out. It happened to be I subscribed to him, you know, on my YouTube playlist or whatever. And it happened to come up, and I watched it, and that's what made me decide to want to talk about it a little bit here. That was what's going on. So yeah. So James Thomas says, on a side note, Moon Man #1 and DC Power, both really good reads. Well, we looking forward to it. Shout out to JT. Frustrated says, I picked up a new book, Patrol Head. Has anyone else picked it? Right. Jamaica Kane, Paul says, DC Power is a welcome surprise. I feel that they would do better. Because what they did was they got some good talent on the book. They didn't get new guys. A lot of the people that's on those books are seasoned writers. And so I think that, you know, my dad used to tell me a long time ago, boy, you get what you pay for. And so I'm glad that DC took the right vow. If you're going to do this, then you need to do it with talent and the spirit of excellence. So, yeah. Robert Peterson, thoughts on the change in writer for John Stewart Green Lantern? Okay, wait a minute. And the Hersher says Sean James is whack and got dragged by Eric. Sean dragged him first. I'll say that. Okay, so Robert Peterson says thoughts of changing writer for John Stewart Green Lantern. There's a new writer. There's a different writer. They changing writers. I thought Philip Kennedy Johnson is writing the book. Because that's when Paul's asked that question. Is Philip Kennedy no longer the writer? I think he's the writer. I mean, I hadn't heard that they were changing writers. That's new to me. Frustrated Sports Fans, is that War Journal or a different book? Well, Green Lantern War Journal is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. That's the guy that's been doing it. And he's been doing a doggone good job. You know, they need to leave well enough alone. I don't know if that's, yeah, so what changed for Green Lantern? I know it's wrong. It's supposed to be only 12 issues. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, Robert Patterson. I mean, Peterson, you gotta come with some clarity on that, because from what we know, it's Philip Kennedy Johnson. He's supposed to be off after finishing up Arc. Okay. I know I hadn't heard anything about it. You know, from what I know, he was going to do the whole thing, but you know, maybe we'll see. You know, but I do think it's only going to be 12 issues, like Seco said. So I know Paul and Mark talked about the Black Panther book only being 10 issues. He says, "Cool, let me check that." Yeah. But I'm of the opinion with that particular. But I think that was the story that she signed up for. I don't think she signed up for anything outside of those 10 issues. 2 story arcs, 2 runs, 2 volumes. I think that might have been her deal. I don't necessarily think that it was because nobody wasn't buying the book or the sales were low or whatever. You know, and to be clear, we're speculating that they're canceling the book. No one from Marvel, to my knowledge, unless y'all got receipts, that they officially canceled the run. So there's that. What up, Blurry Forever with the super chat? Will it take Al Ewing or Jonathan Hickman to have a long Black Panther run? I need at least 50 straight issues of a Black Panther book. Okay. Yeah, I know, Paul. Hold on a second, Paul. I'm gonna get to your comment in a second. Okay. As far as Al Ewing or Jonathan Hickman having writing Black Panther, I think those would be 2 dope writers, 2 dope white writers. But I wouldn't be opposed to, I know the guys brought up Evan Narcisse. Priest, of course, doesn't want to do it. Coates probably wouldn't want to do it. Reginald Hudlin, I wouldn't mind seeing Hudlin come back. If any writer had to come back to Black Panther, who would I want to come back to it? It would probably be my choice would be Hudlin, but Hudlin is he's working out his stuff with Milestone, so. But that's what I would want to write, like an ongoing 50-issue run or whatever. It's hard to write 50 issues, bro. I mean, you have to have, because you're literally talking about at least 6, 7 volumes of story. Because most story volumes are like 5, 6 issues. So you got to have somebody's got to be willing to really, really tell a story and be willing to like really do some, real, real world building. If they retcon all of the stuff that happened with Black Panther from the last run, I would be cool with that. But we'll see. Now, to Paul's thing, says the solicitors for issue 10 already say that's the final issue. I get that, but I'm saying people are saying that they canceled it. Just because it's the final issue doesn't mean it was canceled. If the book, if the contract that she signed was for just 10 issues, then it was for 10 issues. No one from Marvel is saying the Black Panther book is canceled. We're saying that in the community. They canceled it because it's 10 issues. I mean, and I'm not saying that anybody's wrong to feel that way, but I think it's premature to automatically think that Marvel decided that, well, we're not doing that no more. Because they gave John Ridley 15 issues, and everybody hated that run. So, and we know that Eve Ewing's run is not as terrible as that was. So again, I think that she signed up. I think she signed up for that. She probably was told by management at Marvel, do not tell anybody that you're only doing 10 issues. I think that was probably put in place. So, but again, it is what it is. So JT says Jonathan Hickman should write Black Panther, just saying. If he would be willing to do it, yeah. If he would be willing to do it. The thing about Jonathan Hickman, though, is, and see, Be careful what you ask for when you want Jonathan Hickman to write. Because Jonathan Hickman is very introspective and very wordy. And some of you guys, y'all can't stand Black Panther. And in order for Black Panther to be Black Panther, to some of you guys, he's got to be constantly throwing hands. He's got to be knocking somebody out. He's got to be putting a spear in somebody's chest. He's got to be doing something gangster. And with Hickman, you're not going to get that. With Hickman, you're going to get a slow burn. It's going to be a very good slow burn, but that's what you're going to get if you get Jonathan Hickman on board for that book. And I know well he can do it and probably would want to do it, but just understand you're going to do a lot of reading with Jonathan Hickman. You ain't going to fly through them panels like you do in some of these books. Just saying. Herschel says, wait a minute, stop. Hold up. I got to go to Style So Serious. 2 white riders in a Cadillac. Yeah. That's exactly what that would be. So Herschel says, Kanye, with black people don't care about black people. Pre-order your damn comments, stop blaming them all. They just stand in no business. I mean, we really don't know that. We don't really know the sales on Black Panther, do we? I mean, I don't believe, and I'm just being honest. I do not believe that they canceled this run because people weren't buying it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. The game is different now. The game is different now. Matter of fact, somebody tell me, name me a comic book right now, other than Spawn, that has a long run, other than maybe Batman is up to like 140 issues now. But outside of Spawn and Batman, who else has a long-standing run in books? I'm just saying. Now, 4BP gets canceled while Storm got a dude and resurrects Matt. You know what? Y'all gonna stop. It's confirmed. League of Geeks says final issue of comic. Earlier listings did not, but now it says it. Robert Peterson, I think novelist Stephen Barnes would be an amazing Black Panther writer. Pericles says, how about Rodney Barnes writing BP? Bo Big says, Hickman plays the long game and me personally would be front center. And again, I would not mind Jonathan Hickman writing Black Panther. But do y'all really want that? Because again, y'all got to read you got to read Jonathan Hickman. Now, don't go back and think that you're going to get the same Jonathan Hickman that wrote the Avengers. Because Jonathan Hickman, his writing has improved since then. That's why he was the guy for X-Men. That's why he was the guy that did Decorum. He started doing some independent stuff, and that stuff is deep and long. He would take his time. And some of y'all ain't patient. And I'm just keeping it a stack. So if you want Jonathan Hickman, he's going to give you a good book, but you're going to have to buy a lot of issues before some stuff take place and for some stuff to drop and happen. So Frustrated says to Herschel, I think we're pre-ordering. I just think they just kill our comics all the time. I mean, I've been talking about how to pre-order Alkalite, and I still haven't got it. Seaco says, unless they pull in the She-Hulk and do a restart months later, not enough folks pre-ordered. James Thomas says, Decorum was good. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Savage Dragons at 265. Yeah. There's not that many titles, though, that have a long run. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to see Black Panther get that kind of traction. But it's a matter of committing to making that commitment. Because if you think about it, you're not really recycling a lot of characters. Again, I like the Jonathan Hickman idea. I just don't know if everybody will be on board for that, because again, he's going to take his time, and that would be a great book. But I can see Mark and Paul on Friday nights talking about, well, I liked it, but it's just so much. It's so much. What are you doing? We don't know. I think Paul will be okay. I think Mark will be okay. But some of these other Black Panther guys, man, look, if Black Panther ain't throwing somebody through a window or something, they it's moving too slow. You know. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. What up, Tron World? Good to see you. Just the guy that brings up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. The same people who said they pre-order also said they signed the recast petition. Only 62,000 signed it. No, we not showing up. I think, though, to be fair, Herschel, to be fair, and I'm just offering debate commentary to what you're saying. I think people that know to pre-order are pre-ordering. A lot of people don't know what the ins and outs of pre-ordering. I mean, you have to be around people that kind of do that kind of stuff to know what that is. You know what I'm saying? We preach it, we preach it, we preach it. We got 40,000 people in Black comic laws and Black superheroes, other stuff. So hopefully we're getting that message out. But we have to also be mindful that everybody is not a comic head like us. And it's not that we ain't showing up. It's just that, to me, when we say we're not showing up, that's people that know better. But for the people that don't know, period, we really can't fault them for that, in my humble opinion. We really can't. We want to hold the people that know better to be accountable. What you got there, Derek? What's that? I can barely see it. Purchase options, okay. Subscribe, pre-orders. Yeah. I mean, there are different ways, you know what I'm saying? The information, we put the information out there to get people to want to do that, but it also has to be their taste as well. Because, I mean, you know, again, I mean, people pre-order Batman, people pre-order Spider-Man, people pre-order, you know, people want to buy what they want to buy. I mean, you know, they're not going to pre-order something that they're not sure about or whatever. You know, with Black Panther or whatever, just because Black Panther's been around since 1966, if that's not your guide, you may not pre-order that book. I mean, can we really fault people for that? You know, that's all I'm saying. There you go, JT. Thank you. Not everyone likes Black Panther, so not everyone will pre-order Black Panther. There's a lot of books on the shelves. Yeah. Roman Curtis says it took over 2 months for Concrete to respond to my LCS emails so he could try to order Acolyte. Hey, peace to you, Rich. I still need your info for that book. Okay. Too many books. And so you're crazy. Okay, I'll send you a direct message. I'll send you a direct message to MK Live after the show. Because I think you sent the email, but I just have to respond to it. I hadn't been able to respond to it. I'll get Derek or somebody to respond to it for me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Styles So Serious is Gunn needs to stop talking about it and just drop the content in these DC streaks. Well, you know, it's listen. I am not mad at a man who's letting it simmer. He's letting that steak simmer. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to have a steak on my plate after, 15 minutes. I know, but if it's slow cooking, I know that it's gonna be good. So, and I want James Gunn to get the DC stuff right. That's the thing. To me, Marvel is kind of passe. in a sense that, you know what, we all need something from DC to really be amazing. Speaking of which, has anybody seen the first installment of Crisis on Infinite Earths? Have y'all seen that yet? I hadn't seen it yet. Some stores don't do it. Some stores will not order certain titles, even if you want it. You have to find stores and websites that will. Dosverse says, I learned the importance of pre-ordering here. Yeah. We're trying to, like I said, we're trying to, you know, spread the good news in regards to that, you know, making it sure people know. But I just think that we really can't hold people accountable that don't know. You know, it's like anything. You know what I mean? It's like the situation. I don't believe that the Black Panther fans bought the Black Panther books. Okay, let's be clear. They bought the books. Negroes were not that upset with the last run that they just swore out Black Panther. They bought the books. That book did not stop because of sales. No. NBA Live Girl said, yeah, part one was pretty cool. And Paul brings up something important. So you have to be willing to go outside your LCS for certain books. That's true. I mean, look, Gulf Coast Cosmos in Houston, the only black-owned comic shop in Texas. They do a lot of the black independent stuff. And the stuff that he carries, I know that the other shops in Houston, none of them carry. None of them carry. You have to find the shops in your area or in your city or in a close proximity, whether it be online or whatever, that carry, and you have to, you know, do your business with them. It's a far gone conclusion. That's just kind of how it is. Blurred Forever says he hits us with another super chat. Thank you. Okay. Now, Blurred Forever says Black Panther issue 7 got to 174 in the comic book charts. That is low. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, Blurred Forever. I've never seen a Black Panther book. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me real good. Everybody, matter of fact, all of y'all. I have never seen a Black Panther book crack the top 100. Ever. Black Panther always hovers right around 100. 174 is very low. I will say that. But generally, Black Panther usually hovers around 100 in any given month of that book being sold. Whoever the writer is, it does not matter. It's always right there. It's never top 10. It's never top 20. It's never top 50. It's always right there about 100. That's just the reality of who buys Black Panther comic books. Some fanboys buy it. Not enough fanboys buy it. We buy it, but not enough of us buy it. If we're not fans of it, we're not fans of it. It is what it is. If we're not just gonna stay mad, I mean, I think that's par for the course, Herschel. We're gonna be frustrated. We're gonna be mad. We're gonna be irritated. It's never going to be what we want it to be, because one, we don't own it. We don't own it. And as much as we may love it or whatever, we can't make people go out and buy. And I'm not going to make somebody, look, you need to go buy this issue. Not only buy that issue, I need you to buy two or three more copies to inflate the sales. Not doing that. I mean, these books are expensive as is. Why pay $5 for a book and then you turn around to pay $10 more for the same comic book? No, this is not the 90s. We ain't doing that no more. We can't do that no more. No one can afford, especially in today's economy, can't nobody do that. H&A says, all due respect, Herschel, it is a matter of awareness and math. Both work against us in our space. Now, I 100% agree with that. And then Herschel says, if we don't pre-order, it's not Marvel's fault. If we're ignorant of pre-order Marvel, just going to move on, We got to get over that part and just do better as fans. Well, see, that's the thing, though, Herschel. I don't think there's anyone here in our space that just consciously, like I say, not, some of us just out of sight, out of mind. It is what it is. And here's the thing too, with a subscription, this is key. With a subscription in certain shops, this is the part that a lot of times we fail to tell people. In most shops where you have a subscription, you have to carry at least 3 to 5 books. You cannot pre-order just one book. You can get a special book. But if you're going to have a subscription, most companies want you to at least subscribe to like 3 to 5 books. And that's every store. It does them no good for you to buy one comic book a month. They're not going to do that. If you're going to have a pull list, your pull list has to have more than just one book on it. Got to have at least 3 to 5 books on it. A lot of people ain't going to tell you that, though. Style So Serious says, whether you like it or not, Colt's effect on BP has yet to be matched and approached with the same depth and series that Black Panther fans were used to. True. He was the last guy, I'll say it like that. I think we openly campaigned, some of us openly campaigned for Jeffrey Thorne to get a shot at the Black Panther book because of what he did for the one shot that he did for King in Black, which would probably been the best Black Panther one shot, one story in the past decade, if we say it like that. It is what it is, though. And James reminds us that Ultimate Black Panther is coming out soon. Mark Robinson asks, Rich, have you read Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer? Yes. I just pre-ordered 5 and it has dope cover with her on number 20. Yeah, I am reading Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, and that is on my pull list. So yeah. Definitely reading that. So happy that book was able to make it to the shop. And that's one of the success stories. If we can get these books, if we can get people to carry these books in the stores, they have a fighting chance to be picked up. But to Herschel's point, if we don't pre-order, it kind of works against us. And Derek kind of alluded to that. There's a lot that goes against what we're trying to do, as far as conventional thinking. It is what it is. It's the game. It's like, I don't want to play the game. I don't want to have to play the game. I want to just go to a comic shop, visit a comic shop, and grab the book off the stuff. I can respect that. I think most people go into that thinking that. But we know that the importance of pre-ordering is because, these shops, they can't, they eat the cost of putting these books in their stores. So pre-ordering, is vital that we do that. It's vital that we do that. We have to that's why one of the things that Black Comic Laws pushes, that, if you're a comic head and you love reading comics, find whatever it is you like to read and pre-order it. That way, the comic book companies will recognize the sales, because the sales that they get off the shelf, they don't recognize that. They just don't. It doesn't count. And because, again, they can't return these books. No, none of your shops, none of your comic book shops are returning any of these books for credit. They don't do that no more. They did away with that a long time ago. So yeah. Yep. It's messed up, man. It's really, really messed up. But that's comics for you. That's comics for you, man. So what else we got, guys? If you have not done so far, please like the video. Paul says, excellent is the movie we need. That's why we won't get it. Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. I wanted to show you this, Paul. I picked this up in a shop. This is Center Fantastic. It's got your guy on it, Avery Brooks, on the cover, talking about Deep Space Nine. Picked this up just recently. Let's see. Roman Curses, my LCS reached out. They didn't respond for over 2 months. He was trying to work with them, talking about Concrete Comics. Yeah. I mean, look, some of these guys, they don't really want to be bothered because they don't think, these companies. And again, I will say this. I have a pull list at a shop, but I go to several other shops because each shop offers something different. And the shop where I have my pull list, that was not when I first moved here to Fort Worth, I had a shop that was close to me. And I made that my shop of choice because I can easily get off of work, go by there and pick up my comics. We have a super chat. Let's get to it. Tron World, thank you. Appreciate the super chat. Yep. So you may have to go to different shops in your area to figure out who does what, because some, independent stuff is, some comic shops don't really mess with it like that. Some don't do back issues, some don't do independent stuff, and some may mess with it more than others. It just depends. You may have to check out the competition. You may like the guys at your comic shop, but if they don't really service you the customer, then you'll never get the experience that you want. And it is what it is. So I would just tell you, try to find another shop, bro. You don't have to be loyal to any of these shops, because at the end of the day, you're spending your money. Bison for Life says Rodney Barnes and Jason Alexander doing Black Panther could work. I would love to see it, which is probably why we won't see it, bro. Stossel says, can we talk about it? Is Harriet Tubman received the same way from other subscribers as opposed to the PCL audience? Probably not. We could talk about it, but to me, it is what it is. I think that there are certain people in our community that are icons, that are iconic. Harriet Tubman is one such person. So when they put her in this comic book, in this fantasy, kind of where she's killing demons, they're looking at it like, okay, well, I remember reading Harriet Tubman, if they still, because critical race theory is taking it all over the place. So people may not even know who Harriet Tubman is in school 10 years from now. That's how terrible things have gotten. I just think that sometimes people don't pick up our books because we're on the covers of the books. Let's just be honest. White folks don't really mess with us like that. Not to where they want to collect our books. Some of them do, but a whole lot of them don't. And they will not buy our books because they feel like it's not for them, so they won't buy it. If it's not about them, it's not for them, they have no desire to pick it up. You go down the list of YouTube and find out how many white guys are talking about Black books. They don't. They'll mention certain books in passing, but that's it. When spec stuff was going crazy or whatever, I remember particularly one particular YouTube video I was watching, and they were talking about Adam, Legend of Blue Marvel, #1. And they were so like, why is this book so expensive? Why? And then one girl was like, yeah, well, I'll find it in a bin somewhere. Like, no, you won't. You know nothing about this book. Don't know no history. You don't know no aesthetic. You don't know why the demand for it is so high in certain spots. It is what it is. They don't rock with us like that. We can talk this kumbaya all all boats rise with the tide, all that stuff. It takes all of us. Yeah, it do, but we're not reading the same stuff. We'll read their stuff because we love stories and we love comics, period. But when it comes to something like Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, I ain't heard not one person, one melanated challenge person say, "Have you picked up Harriet Tubman?" They barely want to talk about Philadelphia. So it is what it is. Blur Forever hits us with another super chat.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Blur Forever, he says, you are correct. Ta-Nehisi Coast run in 2017 got up to number 92 in the comic charts, November 2017. Yeah. It is what it is. Bara Nakosi Yukasa gets 90,000 print run from DC Comics. She did check, please, comic book. Okay. Comic book series. Okay. Sean World say, hey, thanks, H. It's one of the reasons Concrete is successful. They interact with various media, other indies as well. James Tomlin, he says we should collectively support and purchase our books. Sierra says, wait a minute, I like Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. Yeah, we all do. They don't. Herschel says a lot of black folks don't mess with black content. They look at the same way some whites do. Some are even embarrassed. And Amir says, I'm waiting. 1 in 100 podcasts. I'm still waiting for the speculation to bring the price of that Ultimate Black Panther preview book up. Well, hey, that is a hot mess. The Ultimate Spider-Man preview book is on sale for $10 now. It's a free book, but there's some spec stuff going on with it. Why isn't it? My man Amir hit me up and told me that. I just got a big laugh out of it. That was so funny, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, Paul, I picked that up and I also picked this up. This is Star Trek magazine from 1999. Nichelle Nichols on the cover. She has a nice interview in this, and I picked this up because it was Star Trek the magazine. So yeah, I wanted this in my collection as well. So I just don't, one of the things that helps me with the comic book stuff is, every now and then I like to pick up some stuff that's not comic book related. I dabble with collectibles. I'm not dope like some of these guys. I can only imagine the stuff that Phil and Otis picked up when they were down at MegaCon. So yeah. The 100 said, "Ooh, that's dope. My dad would love that magazine." Yeah, man, I picked it up this week. I picked up some other stuff too. Amir, you might appreciate this. This is a Hit Parader magazine from February 1972. And this has a article about Sly and the Family Stone. Hit Parader back in the 80s and 90s used to do a lot of heavy metal stuff, but they've been around since the 60s, I want to say. And but there's a Sly and the Family Stone article in here, man, that I'm loving checking out. I have that one, and then I have this one from Hit Parader 1971. This here has an article on Black Rock back in the 70s. I know music is something I really enjoy as well. Herschel asked the question, is anybody excited about the Shook book? We will when we get it. We got to get it first. But that's coming soon. That's funny, Herschel. Brett said, didn't know Rich is a Trekkie. Cool. I'm not the biggest Trekkie. I think Paul owns that title as far as Black Comic Lords. I think he's the biggest Trekkie in our squad. But I dabble a little bit with the Star Trek stuff. I see all the Black Panther talk. What about a Black Lightning series? Roman Curtis, you trying to trigger me. Because that's my guy. Black Lightning is my favorite character. I got a Black Panther shirt on, but Black Lightning is my favorite character. And it's been it's been 6 years since a Black Lightning book has been on the shelves. And I would love to see a Black Lightning comic book. And I'm kind of low-key disappointed that Black Lightning is not in the DC Power book. His daughters are in the book. Thunder and Lightning, they're in the book. I think hanging out with Spectre, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think Black Lightning is in the book at all. But I would love, man, I want my guy. I want Jefferson Pierce back on the shelves for sure. He said, "What? Oh, Black Lightning." Amir knows that's my guy. That's my guy. Frustrated says, Herschel, you have admitted you buy white heroes, so the purchase is counted as 2, while your black comic purchase is counted as 1. Yeah. It is what it is, guys. Now, this is something that kind of be funny. We're talking about Star Trek. I picked this up as well. Back in the day, there was a comic book, well, not a comic book, but a magazine called Dynamite. Now, I am also a Star Wars fan. And this is Dynamite magazine from the 80s. And Star Wars, basically Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia. And this is a complete magazine. Funny thing is, the poster that was a part of this is they didn't put the poster of Princess Leia in but there is a iron-on. The iron-on is still in the book. The book is completely intact. But I bought that recently too, so yeah. Static got confused for Black Lightning nowadays. Tragic. So James says, Black Manners in DC Power is interesting, but no Black Lightning. Yeah. Yeah, Black Lightning has to be in a book pretty soon. I am going to write the editors at DC and troll them until they do. I want my man in a book like yesterday. So he's always good to be in a team book. Brian Hill, when he did his Batman the Outsiders book, that basically was a Black Lightning led book. But yeah, I really want Black Lightning to be back in a book. H&A says Black Lightning is on the cover, but not in the book. Yeah, man, that's what they do. That's what they do. They troll. They find a way to troll. They like, okay, well, you like Black Lightning, but you ain't gonna get a Black Lightning story, but you're still gonna buy it. And I'm definitely gonna buy the cover with Black Lightning on it. And he's in the top spot in that cover that Dennis Cowan did. I don't know if you can pull that up, Derek, to show everybody that cover, whatever. But he's in the top spot, number 1 spot where he's supposed to be, because he's the original Black character that has a self-titled book at DC. Very historic character. And in a couple of years, we'll be celebrating 50 years of Black Lightning in history. Yeah. OG, you should write a bootleg Black Lightning book. I would buy it. Man, don't get me to thinking. Yeah, but that's the cover right there. That's the cover right there. Love that cover. Shout out to Dennis Cowan. Yeah. I think the book has some unreleased stories in that book as well. Everybody buys white books. And Marvel is white on. So Jimmy Walker had a magazine? No. It was just called Dynamite. It was just called Dynamite. Funny thing is, though, Jimmy Walker, I do believe, was in Dynamite at one time. So, yeah. Style so serious, you being a troll. He said, aren't Black Lightning and Black Vulcan the same? No, they're not. Why you messing with me, man? Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me, man. Don't mess with me, bro. For those that don't know, I'll tell the story. For those that don't know, back in the day, when they did the Super Friends story or the cartoon, they originally wanted to use Black Lightning, but they didn't want to pay Tony Isabella for the rights to do it. So they told Tony, "We want Black Lightning." Well, I need my coins. So they created Black Vulcan to spite Isabella. And what Isabella did was he wrote a story in the original Black Lightning run where there's a Black Lightning copycat. You know, Tony Isabella was doing diss tracks long before rappers. So yeah. Black Vulcan exists because they didn't want to pay Tony Isabella any money to be used or licensed in the Super Friends stuff. Yeah, Roman curses fist in the air like 1968. Wow. Yep. I like this conversation Frustrated is having with her. She said, if white fans are buying books and you also buying books, that's 2 sales for the white hero. And when you buy the Black Hero book, it is only 1 sale for that Black Hero book. Talking about a bootleg book, have you thought of writing an indie book? I have a story. I do have a story. Actually, I have a couple of stories I would love to do. And if doors open, I'll say it like this: if doors open for me to tell a story, I would love to do it. I do have some stories. I would like to tell. In fact, I have one story that is very, very. I'm like, I might just, I'm a writer already, but I don't know if I could do it in writing form. I may do it as a short story, write it as a short story. But I do have some stories I would like to tell on the independent. It's just a matter of getting with the artist and having the time to do it and whatever. But I do have some stories, for real. Thorn Identity. What up? Shout out to the god Jeffrey Thorne. He says that probably explains why there's no Black Lightning ongoing. Possibly. Listen, Isabella did not. Isabella is historically, Tony Isabella created Black Lightning and he created Misty Knight. 2 top-tier Black superheroes. And Isabella has he's a strong personality. He's a strong personality. Anybody that's followed Isabella knows. Isabella had problems with Brian Hill and the Black Batman and the Outsiders run. Yeah, so there may be something to that because Isabella, there's only been one other writer that has done any books. I think there was a different writer that did the Black Lightning Year 1 story, but Isabella wrote the first volume. He wrote The Cold Dead Hands 6th issue that they did. He's done his stuff over the years, but he's been the primary writer of Black Lightning comic books. Yeah. He says, Lexi said, please hit him up by 2. Stop. Let's see. Then buy more Black Comics Fix. That's frustration. I'm waiting on you. The 101 podcast. Not too much about Tony OG. Don't get me fired up. I mean, look, listen. It is what it is. I didn't, and I have a respect for Isabella because he's the creator. He's the co-creator along with Trevor Von Eaton, my favorite character. So I have to like give him some grace in that regard. But I was no fan of what he said about Brian Edward Hill when he did the Black Man and the Outsiders run. You know, he was feeling some. I think he was triggered almost. But I think almost in a good way. Because I think Isabella, for the most part, is good natured. But he has a strong personality, no doubt about that. The question is, but is Tony Isabella invited to the cookout? Let Paul tell it we can't invite nobody to the cookout. We can bring him up, we can take him a plate. You can take him a plate. But he may not be invited to the cookout. Now, me personally, I would invite him to the cookout. I mean, look, Isabella, Herschel, matter of fact, Herschel interviewed Tony Isabella for the channel. And Tony shared with Herschel, you know, that the idea that Black Lightning came from was from some of his buddies that he hung out and grew up with in Ohio. And again, this is the white guy who grew up around some of us, and he created a character because there was no character at that time other than Jon Stewart. And this is like 1977, 76 when they started creating the concept for the character. So it was groundbreaking. So for me, he gets an invite to the cookout because he helped, you know, create history. If that makes any sense. Sierra, so y'all always want to invite somebody to. We need somebody to referee. You know how it goes down at the cookout, Sierra. Styles so serious says, cookout has been postponed indefinitely. Y'all crazy, man. So Isabella doesn't care for the daughters. Now, one of the pod says, hell no, you can't come to the cookout. Consider what we almost got instead of Black Lightning. Yeah. Isabella doesn't care for the. I mean, you know, look, the situation with Thunder and Lightning is interesting because, again, in the very beginning volumes, see, in volume 1 of Black Lightning, he didn't have daughters. They were his nieces. Jennifer and the other girl, can't think of her. I'm losing. I'm having a senior moment. But the daughters, they weren't daughters in the original volume. They were nieces. They were his nieces. And then they retconned them and made them their daughter. Made Jefferson Pierce their daughters. So yeah. Seco says he did the 1995 series, yeah, until he was removed for a guy from Australia. Yeah. Now, Frustrated brings up an interesting comment. Is we first need to invite the Black manga readers to the cookout so we can educate them. You know what? It's interesting. Let me share this with you. I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna pull the curtain back a little bit regarding, and I bring this up talking about manga for a reason. So for those who don't know, I am an associate pastor at my church. And I work in a number of ministries. And one of the ministries that I work in is the youth ministry. And so I had a conversation today with a group of girls who love anime and manga. We talked about anime and manga. And part of the reason why we got on, when we at church now, okay, part of the reason why we began talking about anime and manga because I was trying to find a way to reach them in terms of when you are dealing with people or whatever, you have to find a way to connect with people. These are young people. These are teenagers, right? And so they're geeks. They're little geeks, you know what I'm saying? And so I was sharing with them my love for reading or whatever. And I shared with them that I read, you know, certain mangas. Their eyes immediately lit up, and it opened up a conversation for us to have that had I not been open to share with them, we wouldn't have been able to have. And so we talked about anime, we talked about manga and their attention to it or whatever. And we talked about the history of it, going back to the Dragon Ball Z stuff in terms of anime. And I think a lot of people don't realize that this is their comic book for them. This is the anime is a comic book for them. We don't call it comic book because it's not a comic book. But for them, that's what this is. It's not if manga had not been invented, they would be comic heads. If anime had not been invented, they would enjoy the same medium. But we got to also understand the history because we were kids that grew up watching cartoons on Saturday morning. That stopped. Dragon Ball Z was the last. Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh! That was the last part or the last phase of Saturday morning cartoons. Y'all do know that, right? That was the last phase. After that, everything went to streaming. There was no watching cartoons on Saturday morning after that. Blurred Forever says, okay, let me go back to some of these. Let me catch up with the chat. He says, let's be clear, I do own Tony's full volume run of Black Lightning. I know you do. John Stewart was MIA at that time as well. Anessa Jefferson, yeah, Anessa Pierce. As an old head, not a fan of manga, anime at all. Stouser says, preach on it. As soon as you invite Webo, anime, manga crowd, there won't be any more black-centered anything. Sorry. We interviewed Tony 2 years ago. Kids will fight you over manga. I mean, and I think that's their thing. You know what I'm saying? We can't. It's like hip hop, guys. I listen. I'm an old head. Boom bap. That's me. Boom, bah, boom. Bah. That's my stuff. I can't get mad at kids for liking Lil Yachty. I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm not gonna entertain it, but that's what they like. It is what it is. Now, when it comes to the situation with the stuff with manga and anime, again, like I said, it was Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball Z, all of that. That was like the end of that era. The end of that era of Saturday morning cartoon stuff. Pokemon, all of that was right there at the end of that. That was the last generation to watch cartoons on Saturday morning. We failed to realize that cartoons on Saturday morning have been around for a long time. And then it ended in the 90s. What was around in the 90s? That's when Dragon Ball Z popped up. Now, NBA Live Girl says, I just found out about this black manga created by Akai. We'll definitely check it out. Yeah, you can get some black anime stuff now. I mean, manga stuff now. There are guys doing it, right now. Guys and gals. Let me just say that. Yeah. Sierra said Drake is hip hop. He is not Target shopping music. Sierra, if you want to get a good laugh, talking about Drake, Rodney Barnes, I can't remember the issue. Rodney Barnes did a issue of Philadelphia where it's not Drake, but it's like it really is Drake, but they had like a Drake-like character in the comic book that was a rapper rapping on stage, and he got bit by a vampire. And I remember asking Rodney Barnes about that, and I was in stitches because that's one of the things I love about Rodney Barnes' writing, because Rodney Barnes will incorporate stuff that goes on in whether it's pop culture or whatever. He's not above shading people at all. That's why I love that dude. Blake, that was his name, Blake, and that's one of the golden moments of Philadelphia. Yeah. Hersha says kids are going to kid. Comics niche is strictly 35 and up. Manga speaks to a different generation. That's all. The art in some of manga is out of here. Felipe Smith, Bobby Ray's Ghost Rider creator, did a manga with a black kid. People Chu. Okay. Thorn Identity says, don't get me started on what happened to the rules against selling to children that ushered anime like Poke and Digi into our lives. Those are just commercials to sell merch to children. Well, Mr. Thorne, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Is it fair? No. But they sold stuff to us too. They sold a lot of stuff. They sold a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, they sold a lot of us. They sold a lot of us a lot of cereal. Remember when back in the day when you would get a box of cereal and it would have a prize in the cereal? Remember that? Yeah. I go so far back. I remember when the cereal company Post had a cereal called, well, it's still around. Not Sugar Smacks, but I can't think of the name of it because Sugar Smacks was like the Kellogg, I want to say. Sugar Bear, that's what it was called, Sugar Bear. That's the character they had. But they had a Jackson 5. They sold a Jackson 5 45 on the back of the Post cereal box. So we got our share of stuff, bro. For real. Let's see. Sierra, most definitely would like a word with you. You don't want no smoke with them. They sold Herschel a lot of action figures. Yep. Since no Saturday cartoons ended around 2014, Educated Ones 2006 marked the end of cartoons like Kim Possible on Saturdays. Okay, and that's fair, C. Cole. But what I was getting at though is that generation of art or style of art and presentation kind of played into that. I mean, look, ain't nobody thinking about Kim Possible, but people are still checking for Yu-Gi-Oh! People are still checking for Dragon Ball Z. People are still checking for all that stuff. All this stuff that we see today, as far as the anime stuff, those are the forefathers or the forebears of what's out here today. That's kind of the point that I was just making as far as that goes. Alphabet cereal. Yep. That was a good one. Golden Crisp, Sugar Golden Crisp. Yep. But they had the character Sugar Bear. Y'all remember Sugar Bear had a blue turtleneck on. This is when turtlenecks was popping. Man, I'm dating myself. So, yep. Naruto is another big one from our generation. Yep. Seacoast says Steve Urkel had a. Now, Blur Forever says the current static artist is heavily influenced by manga, which is a choice. Good book, nevertheless, but where's my Blood Syndicate book? I thought we was gonna get out of here tonight without talking about anything milestone. We're gonna put out an APB for the we're gonna put out an APB for the last Icon versus Hardware book. We're gonna put out an APB for the next Static season 3 run. We're gonna put out an APB for the next Icon Rocket story. We're gonna put out an APB for everything milestone. Yeah, Roman Curtis, Saturday mornings, late 70s, early 80s, living room TV on the floor, your whole box of cereal, half a gallon of milk in my briefs. Yes, absolutely. Those were the good old days. Sierra's guy says, I got a question, Rich. That animal man versus Vixen issue you posted in the group, what issue number was that? I want to say it was 41, I believe. I think it's issue 41. Let me look. But I think it's issue 41. Let me see. I do believe it's issue 41. Shout out to Mary McCabe, all you Vixen fans. Let's see. I think it's 41. Hold on. I'm looking for you right now. I got the book around it somewhere. I just want to give you the right number. Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to figure it out. When all else fails, go to CLZ. CLZ is a app that you use to store or document your books. It helps you keep up with what you have in your collection. Okay. Paul says it's 44. Okay. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I forgot. I said it was 41, but it's 44. Okay. So, Rich, do I need to create an APB video from you? Yeah, man, we need to go ahead and make that happen. For real. All points bulleted. My milestone is missing. Gordon Mahan says there's a brother with his own manga publishing company who publishes a book called Saturday AM. Yes, I've seen that book. That it features diverse manga and African creators, among others. 1 in 100 podcast. So I read Adventures Twilight. Boy, Luke Cage's Black sure did. Hey man, look. I don't know who did the art. For Luke Cage and Avengers Twilight, but they had my man looking. Lord, he like, you know who he looked like? He looked like Mudfoot. Looked like Mudfoot from Fat Albert. His black show cracked. So the chat is on fire. What did I miss? You didn't really miss anything, Styles says. We just reminiscing, talking about the good old days, Saturday morning cartoons and all that good stuff. And as far as like getting kids into comics or whatever, look, Marvel and DC made a conscious decision years ago to not sell to young people. That's what they did. They decided that grown folks would be the better market share for them. They decided that, you know what, I'm not interested in making Batman a campy superhero. I want Batman to be dark. I want his villains to be really sinister. I don't want to read about the cheery side of superhero and villains. They went dark, and that's kind of been the industry since Alan Moore and Watchmen and all that stuff. It is what it is. If you go to a comic shop, the kids section in any comic shop of any size is literally not even half a wall, maybe a third of the wall, which is why the kids stuff that's in comic books it's manga. They're reading manga because the And there's grown up manga too, but there's kid manga too. I mean, and kids are reading some of the kids are not even reading manga. Kids are reading Dog Man, Captain Underpants. That's what kids are reading. Younger kids reading, and they love that stuff. They love that stuff. He said, "Rich, let me come on and open that CGC box. I need to know what grade I got." All right, well, come on, bro. Let's go.
How's it going?
Well, my brother, what's happening? I know you got something. You're chomping at the bit. Let's see what we got.
Okay. Well, just to recap, I sent off a shipment through a presser about 2 months ago, and on one of our live shows, I was able to open 3 of the books, but another one hadn't come back yet. So I'd gotten 2 War of the Independents slabbed, and both of those came back at 9.6. So I wanted at least one 9.8, but didn't get it. And then I also had a bitter root that came back 9.8 bitter root. This is the Joe Louis cover. So now the last one is Silver Surfer number 5. You can open it up now.
What's up?
It's from 1969.
And that's what the book guys. You gotta understand. If he get the grade, he get his time. That's a good couple.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be at least a 9.4. But I've been known to miss critical details on some Silver Ink books when I send them out. So let's see what I got here. Uh-oh. Got my 9.4.
Whoa.
There we go.
That's good though, man. For a 1960 what?
1969.
1969 book. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm happy with this. I thought I might have a chance at a 9.6, but I also thought it could be as low as an 8.5. So happy with a 9.4.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
What's the
Awesome.
highest grade in that, bro? Do you know on the census?
I'll check that. I'll check it while you continue to answer questions.
So somebody, Rich Blur Forever asked me, will you be watching Joker 2 this year? Absolutely. I'm going to definitely watch that. Resident 76 says, you guys covered the Glyph Awards. The nominees for 2024 may be out in a month or so. You know what? I'm going to be honest. That always comes up, and we always kind of miss it. I don't know if Paul follows it closer than I certainly do. Let's see. Pericles says, damn, 1 in 100. I wasn't kidding. Luke looks like he should be climbing the courthouse steps shouting idolatry. Yo, that's a New Jack City reference. I love that. Yeah, Imperious Flex strikes again. And Hershey says one of the highest grades, I bet. So what did you find out? Have you seen it yet?
I'm still pulling it up. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna look and see what the highest grade in that book is. For 1969, that makes it a Silver Age book, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And Paul says, for the record, Derek, you officially flexing and you know it.
I just wanted to open this up. I've been sitting on this box waiting for a chance to open it up.
Absolutely.
Right,
yeah, I'm here for that show. Hershey says, I bet there's like 5 9/8 on it. CS says, I can't wait.
It's more than you think. More than you think. All right, let me share the screen. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
So let's see, 23 9/8s, 66 9/6s, and 108 9/4s. So there's a lot of these books on the census.
Okay. I wonder, is there any way to tell how long they've been on the census?
Only if you look them up individually. You have to look the numbers up individually.
I'm just curious to the popularity of the book, you know.
And here's another key thing. This is the tough thing about it. It got, I don't know if you can see this, but it got white pages. So that's important too. So
Yep.
you get a little boost for white pages. So cool.
That's still good, man. You can't really be mad at that. It's a Silver Age book.
Mm-mm.
And you got that 994.
I'll take it.
Yep. Twice on
All
Sunday.
right.
Yeah, man. So it says now there who can see that I got to put my glasses on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Sorry, I have my screen on too, so it's kind of hard to see. Yep.
That's a Silver Age book, ladies and gentlemen. 1969 in the 9-4. That's almost near mint.
All right, producer going backstage again.
All right. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, Rich. Yep.
So, yeah. So, that's a part of the hobby. Some people wonder why people slab certain things. And, because it's like, okay, I want to read this book. Why would I get a slab? Slabs are for books that, you feel like, okay, this is a notable book, or this is my favorite character, that kind of thing. And some people like everything slab. Mike Carson is notorious around our parts for having a full static run, all slabbed. And a lot of them are very high grades. And that's something that, we do. Let me see. Y'all want to see a few slabs? I got a few slabs around here. Let me real quick run and go get a couple slabs. I'll just grab a stack of slabs. So this one here is a Black Panther slab. This is Black Panther issue 4, the first appearance of the White Wolf. Sorry about the glare. I'm trying to get the glare off of it, guys. So I have this in a slab. So I have that Black Panther books. Berserker. I have a Berserker slab, issue 4. Issue number 4. Berserker CBS in a 9/8. This is Keanu Reeves' book. So the character Keanu Reeves, his mother is black, actually. So Keanu Reeves is actually, or the character Berserker is actually half black. That's a black book. Now, here's my Black Lightning signature series, signed by Tony Isabella. This one here. This is a 7.0. I have this. And I have another Black Lightning in the 7.5. This is sorry, man, the glares. I'm sorry about the glare, y'all. Yeah. So I got that one. This one here is I know, Amir, if you're here, you'll probably appreciate this one. This is actually a Firepower sketch. This is actually a Todd McFarlane retailer incentive. Todd McFarlane did this Firepower issue number 12. Ooh, let me get the glare off of it. I don't know if you can really see it, but that's Uncle Todd's work. Todd McFarlane. And a 9/8. Now, I get a lot of flack because I'm very critical of Barry, President Obama, but I got an Obama slab in the 9/6. Shout out to Paul. So I have this one, and Batman's my favorite character, so I wanted a Batman book slab. So I have this one here, Batman: The Dark Knight #1. in a 9.8. So I got other slabs here too, but those are just some of the slabs I got. So yeah. So it says, I don't know a whole lot about grading. I have to get better. I mean, again, Sierra, if you have a particular book that you really, really adore, or that has a sentimental value to you, that's the book I would say get it slab. Whatever your favorite comic book character is, or whoever your favorite writer is, and you want to just preserve it, that's when you get your books slab. The thing about grading is there's a 10-point system. Most times it's rare to see a 10-point. I've never seen, well, let me be careful. Derek might be the only person Derek might have a 10.0 book. I do know he has a 9.9. He definitely has a 9.9 book. Most books come back as a 9.8 as far as near mint goes. And then it goes down from there, whatever. And if you got books that have spine ticks, like if you get a comic book, let me just grab a book to just show you. Now, this is a book raw. This is an Arion #1. Now, I don't even know if we can get close enough for that, but if you can like see the edge of it book, you know, a lot of books get taken off for having spine ticks. Those are things that you have to pay attention to. The edge of your book. You want your book to be kind of like, if you send it in, you want it to be flat. You want it to lay flat. Like a book like this is raw. You want to press it. And of course, things like rabbit ears. You know, you have things like rabbit ears there. We see eyes kick, you know, like they take off for that kind of stuff. You know, you have to think about that as well. So when you see a book that you want slab, you want to inspect it and get it cleaned and pressed if you can to get the highest grade possible. Yeah, H&A says I have 2 CBCS books, 9.9 books. It's to stop encourage Darius's flesh. I'm just saying, the dude's you gotta give props for props is due. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's a process, Sierra. You can learn this. It's fairly an easy thing. It's just really talk to somebody at your local LCS, and if you got a book that you want to get, like, say, for example, you got a static #1, that would be a good book to get slab. And if it's in, say, the poly bag, the original poly bags, those are always kind of good to have. But you can get a book, the static #1 without the poly bag, whatever. But a book that has the original poly bag in it's probably going to get a better grade because it's sealed, which means it hadn't been touched at all with human hands or turned pages, whatever. Not to say that you will 100% get a 9.8, but you're more closer to get a 9.8 if it's still in the bag than not. I'll say it like that. Sarah says, thanks for the info. Yeah, that's what's up. Well, look, guys, man, look, it's we've been here over 2.5 hours. Before I get out of here, I want to congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. Going to have a Chiefs 49 Super Bowl. That should be fun. I know a lot of people thought that this was going to be Baltimore's year, but man, Patrick Mahomes is kind of like this generation's Tom Brady. You don't bet against that dude. You do not bet against that dude. And their defense used to be real terrible. They got a real good defense this year. So 49's going to have to bring it. I don't know what happened to Detroit. They forgot that it's 4 quarters in a game. They played great the first 2 quarters, and then I guess they realized that they were the Detroit Lions and forgot how to play defense. With that said, though, we want to give you a highlight to an upcoming interview with the creators of Tribe. That's right, Larry Stroman and Todd Johnson will be joining us on Wednesday night. We normally will have our Wednesday wrap-up, but instead of Wednesday wrap-up with the whole squad, there will be an interview. We'll talk all things Tribe. And that should be a fun interview. Tribe is 30 years old. They're coming back, and we're going to get some more Tribe books. So we're going to talk to these guys. They are legends in the game, especially Mr. Stroman. Mr. Stroman is not only the co-creator of Tribe, and Larry Stroman did a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, I think he did the art in the if I'm not mistaken, Derek, you can correct me on this. I'm gonna get to your question, Frustrated. But I think he did the art in the War of Independence as well. I think he's attached to that as well.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my virtual background's messing this up. Anything that's green, but he did do the art on this.
Yes, that's what's up. So yeah, we're gonna be talking to him, and we should have a good time having that discussion along with the Tribe discussion. We'll probably talk about that book and a few others as well. So, Frustrated says, Paul told me I should get my Black Panther number 14 with Namor on the cover slab. Should I trust it? I'm gonna let Paul answer that. And Frustrated hits us with a super chat. This is for the collection plate. We thank you. Thanks again. Style So Serious says, love, peace, and grease, everybody. Thanks, Style So Serious, for joining with us on tonight. So, also, guys, I want you guys to check out. This is Paul says, what? Never mind, Paul. We have a number of ways you can watch and support our channel. We have our shows on through our YouTube playlist. We have the Wednesday wrap up, which is when the squad gets together and do their thing. I want to shout out to C. Bizzle for joining the squad last week. Also, we have Wakanda Whiskey and Blurredom, where you'll hear all things Wakanda and all kinds of shenanigans going on with whiskey and the like, and the Blurred fandom in general. And of course, you're here on Sunday nights with me, your boy Rich. And if you want to check out some of our roundtable stuff, whether we're talking about the independent creators or whether we're talking about Milestone, we have a lot of different roundtables there, and our interviews with some of the best and brightest in this community, whether it's Tim Fielder, whether it's Dr. John Jennings, Dr. Eve Ewing, among others. They're all there as well. So please continue to support our channel through Super Chat. Please hit the like button. Turn on the bell for your notifications as well. And remember to support your favorite comic book series through pre-order and getting a subscription at your local FCS. And remember always the final cutoff date, because that, if you don't get it in, it's not guaranteed you're going to get the book in time. So just want to, remind you guys of that. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and give the benediction, which comes from Proverbs, the 17th chapter, verse number 22. It reads simply this, that a merry heart does good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you. And remember, Wednesday night, dope interview with the creators of Tribe. Until then, we say peace. Take care of yourselves and each other. We out.